Ladies and gentlemen, I am your General Greene. God bless you all tuning in. It is an incredible day. Today, I reveal catastrophic information to the American people and the global citizenry. If you're hearing this message, we have officially broken through the matrix. Please like and share. This is critical. You are now in a black swan event here in the United States of America and Western Europe, specifically a black swan. This is an emergency alert and Jesus Christ is King. Please like and share, get this video out to the viewing public. I need your help. You are amazing and you are loved. I'm going to go through all the brutal detail today on exactly what to expect. We have a major announcement coming from our great president, Donald John Trump, at approximately 3 p.m. This will be an earth-shattering bombshell, unlike anything we have ever heard. Yes, we predicted, along with you, the massive historic Middle East peace deal, which we just got several days ago. And now Donald Trump has revealed to the public, as we predicted, another peace deal coming in Ukraine. But first, like and share, leave a comment. I want to thank you all. Thank you for tuning in here on X, on YouTube, and also on Facebook. We have had a stunning, astounding 3.3 million views just in the last 28 days on Facebook alone. We are reaching millions of eyeballs for a reason, because we are in the black swan reset, the economic financial reset now. I told you this week would be the reset now. We have catastrophic parabolas in gold. Gold is soaring to new all-time highs, 4,300 buckaroos, going up to 10,000 plus according to Jamie Dimon. But that's only half the story. I'm going to get into all this and more, but the first thing you need to do is don't panic. Just get out of the banks now. Jamie Dimon, the largest head of the largest bank, one of them in the United States, has now called for 10,000 per ounce or more in gold. But he is also calling for a catastrophic bank crisis and credit collapse, which he is calling cockroaches, soon to come to the United States of America. In fact, massive cascading defaults are now taking place across the U.S. and too big to fail banking system. I'm going to get into all these details and a whole heck of a lot more, and then we're going to think about, and I'm going to reveal exactly what you need to be doing, because this is a reverse depression. A lot of you didn't understand what I meant by that several years ago, that all asset prices based on a real asset would soar in a hyperinflationary event. I told you real estate would soar in a hyperinflationary event. I told you real property would soar in a hyperinflationary event. I told you gold would soar because it's a real asset. Silver would soar because it's a real asset. I told you Bitcoin and crypto was the new hegemonic system and that everything worldwide would be tokenized. Now, Larry Fink is on camera telling you the entire universe, the entire planet, everything, even nature will be tokenized. All of it, the economy, stable coins. And here's what you're not hearing about in the mainstream press, and I'm the first one to say it, which is why you tune in. PayPal, if you didn't already know, just minted $300 trillion. $300 trillion of their new stablecoin. This is twice the GDP of the entire world. And no, it was not a fat thumb. It was intentional. It was intentional. You can pick up this story on CNBC.com. It's all over the press. Let me repeat. PayPal just minted $300 trillion, twice the world's GDP, out of thin air, from nothing, from nowhere, and printed, just like the central bank has been printing currencies for years. the US dollar, which is worth nothing, which is why all the assets against it keep going up. That was not a fat thumb, and it wasn't a mistake. The elites are working out the kinks as they reset the system. Last week, we had the flash crash in crypto. It was all an inside job, all by design. The too big to fail banks, the cabal, and the deep state. It was designed to shake the tree, test the system in strength of stable coin parity, flush out all of the excessive leverage. It was a stress test for the exchanges here in the United States, exchanges overseas like Binance and others, and it is all a part of the plan. Now, the only reason the elites are allowing gold and silver prices to skyrocket to new all-time highs is they have a very sinister, conspiratorial takeover plan that they have now put into process today. Donald Trump's announcement, he's got many announcements coming. I've already told you what's going to happen. 0 to near zero capital gains taxes. By the way, just about 100,000 more Litecoin today. Not 100,000 USD, 100,000 Litecoin. Almost $10 million USD. Added to my position because everything goes to zero against Litecoin. You've probably noticed my top other 1000X pick, RSR, is the only thing pumping in the crypto market. Erebor, Peter Thiel, PayPal, just been approved as a bank, going live and operational with its stable coins soon, which is why I've alerted you to all this way ahead in advance. And now Jamie Dimon admitting that JP Morgan Chase, one of the largest banks in America, has taken a catastrophic loss. $170 million plus to start, but he says more cockroaches are coming. They had issued debt to a company called Tricolor, which I believe is in the auto loan industry, if I remember correctly. And it's just one sign of the systemic 2008-09 Allah event coming in 2025. But here's the difference. This time it's a reverse depression. What do I mean by that? Let me explain. All real assets, gold, silver. This is what I've been saying for decades. This is not new. This is the same thing I've been telling you for decades. Gold, silver, real assets, real estate, especially high-end real estate. I invented tokenized high-end real estate here at islandproject.com. We're the first in the world to do it. We already own $33.5 million. No bank debt assets, beach and ocean front. Completely democratized, fractionalized. Best in the world, best in class. Deck 250 million to be announced soon. Billions of dollars in our tokenization event set for Q1 2026. What I mean by a reverse depression is this will be worse than 2008 and 09 for many of you tuning in if you don't take my advice. I have to say not financial advice, but take my advice. Do what I say. A reverse depression means, as I've been warning for decades, that the middle class will be continuously wiped out, which it already has been, by the elites, by the cabal. This is why the lockdowns will continue to be wiped out. As that process takes place, asset prices aren't going down. The largest bubble in the systemic collapse in world civilizational, multi-generation, century, millennial kingdom history is taking place today. And it's not gold. It's not silver. It's not Bitcoin. And it's not real estate. No, these are real assets, folks, with no bank debt. It's not real stuff. It's the US dollar. This is what many of you have underestimated. I told you. And many have asked me, Christopher, are you betting against the US dollar? Yes. I've been betting against the US crap shit fiat dollar for nearly 20 years, which is why I'm Bitcoin rich and Litecoin rich and Ethereum rich and XRP rich, because we've been betting against the fiat trash pile that has now had a match lit and is set on fire, and a message is being sent to central banks worldwide. You bet your ass we've been betting against the U.S. crap bullshit dollar. You bet your bunghole we've been betting against it, which is why we're rich, which is why all of these assets are going parabolic. Now, I'm going to show you some catastrophic canary in the coal mine charts today, proving that the U.S. dollar is dead, proving the middle class is being eviscerated. It is evaporating into the wind. And I encourage you to follow me. I get passionate here on X at AMTV Media. Again, I just bought 100,000 more Litecoin added to my position. And I want to show you these charts. And I want to show you the panic that is currently hitting the United States. This is a gold dealer in the United States, and I've corroborated this with one of my Christian brothers. I've sold, for those of you that don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of gold and silver over the years at AMTV Gold. Hundreds of millions of dollars I've sold. When gold was at 2,000, under 2,000, okay? When it was trading at 1,000. And this has been corroborated by him, and also you're starting to see this panic on social media. Check this out. This is just your typical gold and bullion dealer in the United States. And literally there are lines outside and absolute hysteria of the masses like they're purchasing a new iPhone right now. Check this out. Gold bullion. Standing in line to buy gold. Look at this. This reminds me of what we would see when a new iPhone is released. But here's the point. The elites have conjured this. You have to understand they want you in gold and silver. Jamie Dimon is telling you gold is going to 10,000 an ounce because they want the U.S. dollar to collapse. Do you understand? It's all an inside job, just like 2008 and 09. So PayPal minting $300 trillion out of thin air of a new stable coin and then telling you it is a mistake is not a mistake. The elites are driving attention to gold and silver before the reset. This is a chess move before what comes next, just like the massive flash crash in crypto days ago, manipulated by the big banks. These criminals have a massive reverse depression planned. I'm reading what I put out here on X, that will push all assets, Bitcoin, crypto, gold, silver, and real estate higher. They hate you so much. 1776. And so these charts are absolutely an insane asylum. Check this out. Let me find it on my phone. It's easier to show you on my phone. This is absolutely insane. And then I'm going to get to the bank runs that are about to hit. This is gold. Look at that chart. It's at 4,300 now. It's a screenshot. Check this out. Parabolas in gold, silver, Bitcoin. Why? Why is this happening? Real estate. Everybody said for years, oh, prices will come down. No, they won't. I'm telling you, it's a reverse depression. The U.S. dollar is dead. The only bubble is in U.S. fiat trash. Let it sink in. Your dollar is trash. It's a freaking trash can. Let it sink in. Everything else is worth more. The gold in this Rolex is worth 1,000 times more than your dirty trash bailout fiat. We spit on your grave. U.S. dollars. And now, global bank runs, flat earth, are coming. This is breaking news from CNBC. Regional banks and Jefferies shares tank as concerns grow on Wall Street about sour loans. Here's a massive collapse in Zion's Bank Corp today. Go look it up for yourself. Here's a massive collapse in Jefferies Financial today. Here, highlighted, is JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon admitting hundreds of millions of dollars of losses so far on crappy loans that they underwrote. They did the same thing in 2008-09, underwrote all of the synthetic paper crap, fake mortgage bailout loans, created the biggest bubble in history, then collapsed the entire system, and then bailed themselves out with trillions and trillions of dollars. So he's just starting to admit bank runs. That's why he's changed his opinion on gold. Now, I'm going to calm down because I don't want you to panic. I want you to just get your money out of the banks. And I also want to explain Donald Trump's announcement. Yes, we predicted peace in the Middle East. Yes, it's historic. Yes, peace and prosperity has now been cemented for decades. Yes, this is Donald Trump's golden chalice, golden age. Yes, as I predicted, it gets annoying, I know. A Ukraine peace deal is now here. Let me read what Donald Trump just put out. And he's also threatened Hamas. This is what he has to say about, and this is from our president, our great president, earlier this morning. I have just concluded my telephone conversation with President Vladimir Putin of Russia, and it was a very productive one. President Putin congratulated me in the United States on the great accomplishment of peace in the Middle East, something that he said has been dreamed of for centuries. I actually believe that the success in the Middle East will help in our negotiation in attaining an end to the war with Russia-Ukraine. Peace is coming. President Putin thanked the First Lady, Melania, for her involvement with children. He was very appreciative and said that this will continue. We also spent a great deal of time talking about trade between Russia and the United States when the war ends, and it's over in Ukraine. At the conclusion of the call, we agreed that there will be a meeting of our high-level advisors next week. Marco Rubio will be taking charge in this. Initial meetings will be led by him, together with various other people, to be designated. Meeting locations to be determined. President Putin and I will then meet in an agreed-upon location in Budapest, Hungary, to see if we can bring this inglorious war, that's a key word, between Russia and Ukraine to an end. President Zelensky and I will be meeting tomorrow in the Oval Office, where we will discuss my conversation with President Putin and much more. So Trump is telegraphing complete peace, absolute peace. Peace has already been declared and cemented in the Middle East, and now it is coming to Ukraine. A perfect storm. Near zero to zero capital gains taxes on crypto. Massive announcements coming from the president for the Bitcoin, Litecoin, crypto, RSR strategic reserve. Trump has gone nuclear. The U.S. Army has detailed plans for at least a dozen new nuclear facilities, nuclear reactors on up to 9 bases so far by 2028. Nuclear power to do what? Nuclear power to provide the energy in this energy AI war, which is money for Bitcoin, blockchain, miners, proof of work, proof of staking, the AI robotic revolution, and a whole heck of a lot more. This is the buying opportunity of a lifetime. Again, I bought 100,000 more Litecoin today for a reason. And I've been buying more RSR. In fact, I bought at the flash crash. I'm already up 50% since that dollar cost average, that DCA. I've had some great calls with you tuning in, and there's a reason why we've pushed so hard and we've worked so hard since we declared our 1776, not just 20 years ago when I started this channel, invented alternative media television and a whole heck of a lot more as registered trademarks. But in addition to that, built the Island Project, the first no bank debt tokenized real estate portfolio. I want you to understand something really clearly from the bottom of my heart. The reason why we built that is because I know what's coming. Because God already told me. The reason why we built that is because now people are suddenly shocked that the whole world's going to be tokenized, that BlackRock is moving in, that the Large international forums, I can't say their name on the algorithm, are now saying they're going to tokenize even nature and carbon and all those kinds of things. I want you to understand a key point, that not only are we the genius and the inventors, myself and Papa John, tokenized, fractional, high-end, no bank debt real estate. We already own all these properties, but we built this network for a reason, because we're the only ones with a real solution for your freedom and liberty, a real active, desirable community, something that is really changing authentically your life and is providing so much more with real ownership of the best assets in the world and a private economy led by Christians that is God and faith first before the deep state ushers in what we know comes next. Folks, we are in the biblical times right now. The technology for the mark is already here. I already told you how they're going to roll it out. They call it proof of humanity. They'll say because of deep fakes and of artificial intelligence and impersonations that the only way for you to have an account anywhere, this includes banking and social media, and of course everything else that you'll want to do to buy or sell, you'll need to be authenticated biologically. The technology is already here. We already know what they're going to do. And if this is the 7-year period of the tribulation, you don't have much time left. You see, there's a lot of people cheering these new record high prices, but you still don't get it. You still don't understand what is coming to your city, state, township, or your farm, or your homestead. You still don't get it that the communities that we have built are the key to your survival. Not just to get rich, we do that. I mean, that's the easy part. It's not hard to get rich. You just take my advice, buy Bitcoin, you bought it under 1,000. I told you to buy. You buy Litecoin today. You buy RSR today. That ain't hard. You buy real estate. You get into real assets. We've already tripled here in Maui freaking Boo since 2020. That ain't hard. Making money's easy. Fighting the deep state is hard. Ask Charlie Kirk. And by the way, it appears that J.D. Vance has his new running mate. Seems kind of convenient to me. His new running mate appears to be Kirk's wife. Have you noticed that? They've already placed her. There was like a mourning period of a few hours. Now she's already doing publicity stunts. Interesting, isn't it? I mean, God bless her. I know she's somewhat of a media personality. Maybe that's her way of dealing with it, you know? I get it. I understand. That might be the case, but it's weird. You know, we're going to see J.D. Vance not only run for president as a continuation and extension of Donald Trump, but in addition to that, I think that, Erica is a top pick right now. So that's pretty crazy, man. That's pretty crazy to think about. So, what is going to happen next? Well, Donald Trump, again, has the world in the palm of his hand. A golden chalice. And God told me to tell you today that the cup will be spilt. I'm going to read you some scripture real quick because I think having some context around this may verify to you in your own mind and validate maybe some things that you could add to our conversation. I want you to leave a comment about this. And even if you're not a Christian, I want you to hear this because I think it's educational for many reasons. This is from the book of Revelation from John. He was on an island too, just like me. Patmos. Revelation 19, verses 11 through 16, starting in verse 12. His eyes, referring to Jesus Christ, were like a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. He had a name written that no one knew except himself, and he was clothed with a robe dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of God. And the armies in heaven, clothed in fine linen, white and clean, followed him on white horses. Now out of his mouth comes a sharp sword, that with it he should strike the nations, and he himself will rule them with a rod of iron. He himself treads the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God. Many of you don't know this, but where the final battle of Armageddon will take place, Napoleon is very famous for saying this would be the area most prudent for world conflict and world war. You must understand that everything happening in Israel right now has all been ordained by God. Like, we're literally living through it now. Even in the days of Nebuchadnezzar, he made everyone worship what? For those of you that know your Bible, and kneel to it. Gold. Gold. And the three gentlemen that refused were sent to the fire, and God, of course, protected them because they had faith. You know, history's rhyming. The tribulation that we're in, the birth pangs, woe is to those nursing and mothers that are giving birth in these times. And everything happening is happening for a very specific reason. The beast of the land, the beast of the sea will show fire rain from heaven and will bring awe to the masses. These are biblical events. So I'm not going to go too long on scripture today, but I want you to understand what's happening has all been preset by design and pre-planned, all of it. It's how I knew about the lockdowns. It's how I knew about Bitcoin. It's how I knew about everything. And don't misinterpret this video. I'm telling you that a black swan is here, not for Bitcoin or crypto. That's all going up, bitch. Are you kidding me? Gold and silver's going to the freaking moon. I mean, this has tripled in price, for crying out loud. This Yachtmaster too. And my other Rolex. You should be better off owning all your wealth in Rolexes at this point. With gold, you'd be better off. So don't misinterpret what I'm saying. The black swan is the dollar's dead. The banking system is dead. God bless Eric Trump. He's a smart cookie. Must be tuning into me, but he made some comments recently, last few days. Not only are they interested in getting into what, guess who invented it? I did. Tokenized, fractional real estate, high-end trophy assets. Because I'm a Trump baller myself. I even own Trump Tower. And pretty much everything. But in addition to that, he said, you know, the future of money is just going to the markets yourself. Like, why do you need a bank when you can just go to the people? So I want you to understand what's happening is so unprecedented. You know, not only has mainstream media collapsed, we destroyed it since 2008 and 09. I mean, no one watches mainstream media, even the mainstream media. I like Tucker Carlson. He's a nice guy. He's cool. Mainstream media, though. Now he pretends like he's in the alternative media. Megyn Kelly, Fox News, worked for the mainstream media. They're the alternative media. Yeah, sure. Again, proving the point that we have broken every single paradigm long in advance, and then people learn later. Now, why do I say that? It's not an ego boost. I could care less. Okay, I'm plenty rich, plenty successful. That's all good and plenty. But the reason why I say that is so many of you have waited so long before you ever take any action. Like, for example, I mean, my phone's ringing off the hook now. Everyone wants to know about Bitcoin and Litecoin, and they're asking me about gold and silver, and they're panicking out of the dollar as if this is some kind of new event. It ain't new. I've literally been telling you this since 2020. I mean, the old videos that we have at school are absolutely extraordinary. I don't know if I can find one live fly on camera here. Maybe I can, but I mean, look at it. This is like my first introduction to Bitcoin in like
if you're here,
2019,
you made the most important decision, I believe,
2016
in your life, because you're investing in the future, you're investing in you, and you're investing in education that you can apply. Now, I'm going to take.
I'm not going to play the whole video. It's funny. Even behind me, you'll see Coinbase. There's a Coinbase page that says an error has occurred. I was literally so early along with you all and all you OGs out there, there's like an error on the Coinbase freaking page. And I'm telling you to buy Bitcoin and go all in, and the dollar's dead. and hyperinflation's coming to America. Literally predicted the lockdowns and the invasion of Ukraine. Predicted 2008 and 09. Got all my clients out of the market, 2008, 09. The same time Jim Cramer told you to go all in Bear Stearns. Picked up a camera, right? Started exposing the truth. Play a quick clip here if I can find it. I don't want to go too long into the tooth because I know you guys like old videos. Like, look, check this out. Check out the old OG here, bashing a freaking TV in.
All right, so in light of recent allegations that we're fake news, I'm Christopher Greene, this is AMTV. This is what I like to call the mainstream media challenge.
Folks, I've been doing this a long time. I'm not going to go any longer today. Just get out of the dollar, for crying out loud. Get out of the dollar, but I just want you to understand that this has all been designed for you. Okay, what I can't tell you on camera is they planned all this stuff years ago, which is why I knew about Bitcoin years ago. And I understood they'd reset the entire debt into stable coins and they'd create a new solution and they'd break the old paradigm and the old model. I told you about the alien invasion and warp speed before it even happened. I released earth-shattering documentaries. I've been blowing up freaking TVs and throwing chairs in the pool for freaking years. So listen to what I say now. And what have I told you? Get out of the dollars, get out of banks, get out of fiat, own Bitcoin, own Litecoin. And by the way, I want to give you some inspiration on this too. We'll go a few more minutes. I want to give you a little inspiration because a lot of you don't think about this in these terms. So let me explain this to you just to put the numbers together for you. Understand where we're headed. The gold current market cap, physical gold, is near 30 trillion. Okay, think about it. It's a big number. And it's rallied huge in recent months, right? The Bitcoin market in comparison is only 2 trillion. The total crypto market cap today, which is a huge historic buying opportunity, is 3.7 trillion. So ask yourself the question, what do you think is going to catch up? Even if Bitcoin, for example, just breaches a third of gold's market cap, that's a 5x to 500K. That's minimum. I've always told you Bitcoin's going to $5 million plus. There's a historic buying opportunity, but here's where it gets interesting. A lot of you don't even care about a 5x anymore. Here's where you go 143x minimum. The silver current market cap is 3 trillion. Litecoin, digital silver, Litecoin, LTC. The real Satoshi is Satoshi Light. My good friend, Charlie Lee, Litecoin Rich. Apply the same formula to 1/3 the silver market cap of 3 trillion. Litecoin, it has a market cap of 7 billion. So what does that tell you? Litecoin trades at 12 to 13K per coin, which is why I bought 100,000 more of them today. That's just my minimum expectations of 143x. Now, RSR, for those of you know, it's about the only thing in the green. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Like, let's take a look today. We're up like 20% yesterday. Freaking crazy. And we're about to break new all-time highs with that as well because, of course, it's going to be the reserve token for the new Erebor Bank run by Peter Thiel. And these Sam Altman, Peter Thiel investments always go to the freaking moon. So what don't you get? Huh? Anyways, I love you guys. I freaking love you. I freaking love you. Jesus Christ is King. And I just revealed the Black Swan event. I also like to entertain you. But the black swan event is what? There's a bubble. Definitely, there's a massive systemic bubble. Huge. Biggest bubble in the world. You know what it is? The US shit dollar. That's the bubble, and you're watching it implode right now. And for those of you on the sidelines that think you're going to get a better buying opportunity, I'm telling you, you're not. Just like I told you in 2020, real estate's only going to go up, which is exactly what it's done. Gold's only going to go up. Silver's only going to go up. Bitcoin's only going to go up. Crypto's only going to go up because the reset is up only. Do you understand? There's a reason why I tell you up only. Because it's spiritual, but it's also what's happening dynamically and financially and economically right now. Up only. I mean, hey, did you think gold would be hitting parabolas? I did. Did you think Bitcoin would be hitting parabolas? I did. Did you think real estate would be hitting parabolas? Again, it speaks for itself. So the middle class is going to be wiped out. And what they have planned is a very specific, preordained, pre-planned, simulated with their D-Wave computers, all of it. They've ran advanced algorithms for multiple decades, and they're all moving you to the new system. Stablecoin reset, tokenization this, tokenization that, tokenization everything. And the difference between me and everybody else you tune into is we actually have a real physical solution for freedom and liberty built for Christians and for God-fearing people with no bank debt. You know, even Eric Trump, God bless him. But whatever he tokenizes, I guarantee will be massively indebted. Like I'm talking 99% debt. Leverage ratios, just like every building they build. Nothing against it. I own some of their buildings. I'm just pointing out that what you should be thinking critically about is not just getting rich. That's easy. I've made you rich, and I'm making you rich, and I'm making our founders rich. And we're doing all of that. But the point is, I've also thought of the very more important component to all that as well. And that is, how can you be spiritually free with what comes next? Where you have choices and liberty and freedom and the true 1776 that our founding fathers and I certainly care about, dedicated my whole life to. So God bless the president. I'm very interested to see his announcement. I already know what it is, and I'll probably comment on it even later today. In the meantime, please like and share this video. Be buying the dippity, 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 dippity dip, and get in. And also understand a lot of these, I won't go longer than 40 minutes. A lot of these characters you follow online, you know, the ones that are bearish all of a sudden, those are the guys that already got liquidated tens of millions of dollars. So understand, those leveraged guys that you see on YouTube, dude, they're taking tens of millions of dollars. They've already taken massive losses. So there's a reason why they're bearish, because they were all trading like 30x leverage. So understand that. I've always told you, don't do any leverage and just own spot and then buy in dollar cost average over time. So God bless those individuals. Some of them are my friends, but there's a reason why they've been psychologically shocked recently, is because, you know, I don't have to go into too much more detail, but a lot of those dudes are trading, you know, leveraged portfolios thinking that they're never going to get a systemic shock or a shakedown like we just had a couple days ago, where they're young, right? And they underestimated what happens next. See, I'm old enough to remember 2008 and 09, which is why we don't have any bank debt, because we've built a cornerstone of rock for your protection and safety as we move ahead, and playing massive world-class offense at the same time. I love you all. I am your general. God bless. Like and share. And thank you for tuning in. Links below and up here. Get into school.